A bloody night for investigators as 4 men killed in a series of shootings across the capital Thursday. New tonight, authorities describing the incidents as targeted attacks. One of the victims, the son of a former house clerk. Plus, a global tech meltdown. We'll tell you the local impact of a routine software glitch that triggered worldwide disruption in airports, banks, and businesses. 50 new homes coming to Grand Bahama as an affordable housing expansion and repair program is announced. We'll tell you the initiative that follows success in New Providence. Then in our news at 7:30, Grand Bahama residents plead for relief amid power outages, despite regulator promises of a resolution next week. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. A quiet night Thursday, shattered by gunfire, leaving 4 men dead in 3 separate incidents. We're learning that one of the men gunned down was the son of former House of Assembly clerk Maurice Tynes. Our Delvado Emmanuel picks up the story from here.
The first of the deadly incidents occurred shortly before 10 last night near Pine Yard Road. Police press officer, Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings, says 2 men in their 40s arrived at a home on Penford Close in a white Nissan, only to be ambushed by gunmen in a dark-colored Japanese vehicle.
Following them being shot, both males exited the vehicle in an attempt to escape the culprits, and they collapsed on the lawn in front of the residence to my left.
Adding to the grim scene, officers say they found a stash of marijuana inside the victim's car. The bloodbath continued less than 3 hours later in front of a business on Crooked Island Street, just north of Palmetto Street. Police say 2 killers confronted a 24-year-old man.
The 2 males, one of whom was armed with a high-powered weapon, the other with a handgun, exited that vehicle and immediately opened fire on the victim, shooting him multiple times. In an attempt to evade, he ran and he collapsed in a nearby property.
The spree of violence culminated around 4:30 this morning when officers on patrol near Sumner Street and Soldier Road encountered a silver Daihatsu hijacked van with a lone male driver in his early 30s. Police say the vehicle had come to a stop after crashing into a pole. That victim died on scene. As dawn broke, families grappled with the senseless loss of 4 lives and the unsettling reality of a targeted violence in their midst. One of the men killed in the double shooting, the son of former House Clerk Maurice Tynes. Also on scene last night was Free National Movement Shadow Minister for National Security, Shannon Cartwright, a family friend.
If we keep up this trend, there will be no size prison that will be able to accommodate the amount of criminals that we have in our society.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks for that, Delvado. Well, a man accused of a fatal drive-by shooting denied the allegations at his Supreme Court arraignment. 24-year-old Breon McKenzie is charged with the June 27, 2023 murder of Gregory Roll. Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson has assigned the case to Justice Gilomena Archer-Mins. McKenzie will learn his trial date on August 7th. Now, according to police, Roll was clearing down bushes on Peter Street when a gunman allegedly McKenzie pulled up in a car and shot him. Well, airports, banks, and businesses around the world left scrambling this morning after a routine software update at a major cybersecurity company triggered a global tech meltdown in critical industries. Marlena Leonard has the story as well as the impact it had here at home.
In what's being called the largest IT outage in history, the widespread tech meltdown has triggered chaos in aviation, banking, and broadcasting. While some were initially concerned it could be a cyber attack, cybersecurity company CrowdStrike came forward early Friday saying the glitch and resulting outages were due to a routine software update and that it was not a security incident. Here in the Bahamas, the Lyndon Pindling International Airport saw some difficulties this morning, but Vice President of Marketing and Commercial Development at the Nassau Airport Development Company, Jan Knowles, tells us they were still able to process passengers.
Persons are able to travel, flights are coming and going. Commercial operations are also being impacted by this global issue, with some of our vendors having challenges processing credit card transactions.
Our Joshua Williams also traveling today, sending us this update from the domestic and international departure lounge at LPIA this morning.
So what's happening here at the Lynden Pilling International Airport, there are a number of flights that are still coming in, some are leaving. You can see an American Airlines flight that's currently on the ground now. An Air Canada flight would have just arrived, along with a JetBlue flight that would have also taken off about a few minutes ago. So passengers are still traveling. Operations at the airport are still running smoothly.
But for local banking services, things haven't gone so smoothly. Governor of the Central Bank of the Bahamas, John Roll, issuing this post on X, as many struggled with card payment services being offline. I also sat down with Chief Information Officer for the Cable Bahamas Group of Companies, Dwayne Davis.
You're able to make calls, receive calls, use your internet, your cable TV, and so forth. Our payment gateways have been affected. Our primary bank is struggling right now struggling in the process of recovering to allow payments. Our merchant clearing, First Atlantic Commercial, is online. Just ask everyone to be patient with the banks, and we should be back pretty soon.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Thanks, Marlena. 50 families in Grand Bahama will receive new homes through the Department of Housing's affordable housing program that's expanding to that island. The initiative extends a similar effort under the Davis administration, which resulted in 60 homes being built in New Providence. Grand Bahama will see additional projects unfolding as Minister Keith Bell of Housing and Urban Renewal has announced plans for a small home repairs program there.
We want to start with approximately 50 homes throughout Grand Bahama. In addition to that, we want to start with our small home repairs across the length and breadth of Grand Bahama. And so we want to let the Grand Bahamians know that any of you who are desirous of obtaining a home, please come into the Ministry of Grand Bahama or the Ministry of Housing. And those who are in urgent need of home repairs, please come in to the Urban Renewal Centers and, of course, the Ministry of Grand Bahama so that we can ensure that nobody is left behind.
And Bell says government intends to aggressively pursue these new initiatives. Nearly 5 years after Hurricane Dorian ravaged Grand Bahama, many still reeling. Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, shares the project's significance.
We are collaboratively working together to ensure that we get new homes built, new affordable homes built, as well as the home repairs that have been needed for such a long time. And so I'm very, very, again, excited because we are now on the way to achieving these things.
And we are learning Prime Minister Philip Davis is currently in the United States receiving treatment for sciatica. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville has confirmed as much, acknowledging it's causing significant discomfort for the country's leader. We've got more on that story in just a bit, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Clendino, and a happy TGIF. Boy, if you've been outside, it is extremely hot out there. Temperatures into the 90s, with triple indices approaching the mid-triple digits. I would call that like 103, 104. And in some locations, we could even see triple digits indices up to about 108, 109. So it's extremely hot out there, and it's still hot on the outside. 86 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Southeast winds, 40 miles per hour, and that southeast wind is pumping in that tropical warm air mass, and it feels like a very warm 97 degrees on the outside. Other temperatures around the islands tonight. It is 86 in Freeport, 86 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Alistown, Bimini, Governor's Harbor, and here in the capital. Nicholstown, Andros, the Big Yard, you guys are 87. Into the Central Bahamas, 87 in Kemps Bay, 84 Georgetown. Some showers and isolated thunderstorms nearby. 85s, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Town, San Salvador, 82. Deadman's Key, 86. And into the Southeast Bahamas, 87 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, and in Matthewtown, Inagua. Delectable Bay and Abrams Bay, 86s across the board for you guys. And look at Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands, 90 degrees. It is really hot out there, so do exercise caution if you plan on being on the outdoors for the weekend. High pressure at the surface, that's continuing to dominate our weather. We do have a little more moisture moving into our area, all courtesy of that southeast to southerly flow, and we have a very vigorous tropical wave that's approaching us from the southeast near the Hispaniola and Turks and Caicos Islands. That will introduce some wet weather for us on the weekend, so look for some scattered showers and some isolated thunderstorms. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on our news, Klay Thompson reveals his father's Lakers dream. And Bahamas Baseball Association returns to the international stage. Our Sports at 7 is up next. Plus, we'll tell you the global tech outage disrupting flights, banks, and media. Even New York's Times Square billboards go dark. The story when our news returns.
No travel, no problem. Summer is here. Whether you're fighting to stay cool or heating up the fun, Our News Weekend is your guide to the ultimate staycation. We're talking all of the hidden gems right in our backyard, from the hottest bars and lounges to the coolest excursions and events in town. So stay cool, stay local, and stay tuned. Tune in every Saturday to make sure your summer staycation is an unforgettable sensation. Only on Our News Weekend.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell?
Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 The Gospel.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
Prime Minister Philip Davis is currently in the United States receiving treatment for sciatica. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville has downplayed concerns about the severity of the condition, but acknowledges that it is causing significant discomfort for the nation's leader and it needs to be managed promptly. Berthany McDermott, he's got the full story on this situation in just a bit, but for now, Klay Thompson opens up about why his father, a Bahamian baseball icon, wanted him to join the Lakers. Meanwhile, the Bahamas Baseball Association makes a comeback on the international stage. Our Sports at 7 is up now.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The Bahamas Baseball Association is returning to the international stage, this time in the 12U division. The BBA's team will participate in the Caribbean Cup next week in the Dominican Republic.
The last 3 months have been pretty much tryouts. This country is filled with amazing baseball players, filled with talent, filled with room to grow and development. These guys are the top guys in the country.
LDK Performance and the Batters Box are teaming up together to host a summer baseball camp. The camp runs through August 2nd and is aimed to enforcing the sport's fundamental and youth development.
They're having a lot of fun, and that's what's most important. Like, development is also important, but we want to make sure the kids enjoy themselves because, we want them to come back. And seeing them develop and enjoy themselves at the same time, it's just a beautiful experience.
It's a new chapter in the career of Klay Thompson, but the decision may not have sat as well with his father, Bahamian basketball icon Michael Thompson.
Yeah, my dad was disappointed. I haven't talked to him much about it, but at the end of the day, he was happy for me. He was a little selfish in his business interests because he wanted me to be at home with the family. I was like, Dad, I've been in California my whole life. I got to experience something new. So he understood, and he's actually really excited for me, and he thinks we have a great shot to do something special here, not just this year, but for many years. So he was all on board once the dust settled, and he realized that it was really a match made in heaven.
That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and the 10YS Plays of the Week. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as we witness a global tech meltdown. Flights grounded, banks down, media disrupted. Times Square billboards go dark. Plus, Trump accepts the 2024 GOP nomination after narrowly escaping an assassination attempt. The former U.S. president calls for national unity. And Haiti's prime minister urges gangs to surrender weapons amid a UN-backed intervention. When our news returns.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. A global technology outage on Friday grounded flights, knocked banks offline, and disrupted media outlets. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike confirmed it was not a cyber attack. In New York City's Times Square, some billboards went dark, with local media sharing images. Tom Harris, president of the Times Square Alliance, said a few billboards were still offline by noon, but it was unclear if the blackout was due to the outage or maintenance. Former U.S. President Donald Trump accepted the Republican Party's 2024 presidential nomination on Thursday after narrowly escaping an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. In a speech emphasizing unity, Trump said the discord and division in American society must be healed.
We will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Together, we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden faces growing isolation, with senior White House and campaign officials urging him to drop his 2024 re-election bid. Sources told CNN that Biden's continued candidacy is seen as untenable, with many Democrats fearing he is not receiving realistic feedback. Key advisors are said to form a tight circle around Biden, while others question his campaign's viability. Despite internal discord, campaign spokesman Kevin Munoz insists Biden remains committed to running. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a surprise visit to troops in Rafah, southern Gaza on Thursday, emphasizing the importance of controlling the border strip with Egypt. The visit comes days before his speech to U.S. Congress. Netanyahu's remarks highlighted the ongoing campaign against Hamas and the challenges in reaching a ceasefire. These actions follow Israel's parliament rejecting a Palestinian state and ongoing military operations in Gaza. And Haitian Prime Minister Gary Conille ordered gangs to surrender their weapons in a televised speech on Wednesday, addressing the rampant violence in Haiti's capital. His speech followed the arrival of 200 Kenyan police officers to help quell the violence as part of a UN-backed mission. Armored vehicles with Kenyan and Haitian police patrolled downtown Port-au-Prince as Conille vowed to recapture gang-controlled areas. The Kenyan forces will be joined by additional personnel from various countries aiming to restore security gradually. Still to come on our news, Today in History, find out interesting facts about the day that was July 19th. Then in our news at 7:30 p.m. Davis in the United States for sciatica treatment. The Health and Wellness Minister downplays the severity but admits the situation demands immediate attention. And Grand Bahamas Hurricane Dorian Memorial is restored months after a car crashed into the site near the Sir Jack Haywood Bridge. The story when our news returns.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be.
No travel, no problem. Summer is here. Whether you're fighting to stay cool or heating up the fun, Our News Weekend is your guide to the ultimate staycation. We're talking all of the hidden gems right in our backyard, from the hottest bars and lounges to the coolest excursions and events in town. So stay cool, stay local, and stay tuned. Tune in every Saturday to make sure your summer staycation is an unforgettable sensation. Only on Our News Weekend.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell?
Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 the gospel.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1929, former Governor General Sir Orville Turnquest was born in Grantstown, New Providence, to Robert and Gwendolyn Turnquest. Sir Orville served in many other notable positions, including Deputy Prime Minister and President of the Bahamas Bar Association. His career spanned over 60 years before his departure from public office in 2001. Then in 1977, voters headed to the polls in the general elections. 38 seats were contested by 4 parties and independent candidates. The incumbent Progressive Liberal Party returned as government, winning 30 of the 38 seats. The newly formed Bahamian Democratic Party, led by Kendall Isaacs, won 6 seats, and the Free National Movement, led by Cecil Wallace Whitfield, won 2. The Vanguard Nationalist and Socialist Party and independent candidates failed to win any seats. Sir Lyndon was returned as Prime Minister for a 3rd consecutive term. Then in 2012, after representing the people of North Abaco as Member of Parliament for 35 years, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram resigned, handing his letter to then House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major. The resignation took effect on August 31st that year. Ingram had served as Prime Minister of the Bahamas from 1992 to 2002 and again from 2007 to 2012. July 19, 2019, Bahamian entertainer Devon M.D.'s night was laid to rest following a somber service at Abundant Life Church. Members of the music community joined family and friends to celebrate his life and legacy. Knight was best known for his unique reggae-style music. Songs like Love Is, Friends Salute, and Love Doctor established him as a remarkable reggae artist. He was stabbed to death in June shortly before he was set to go on tour. His music career had landed him on stages both at home and abroad. And finally, in 2020, Renward Wells was sworn in as the Minister of Health after the resignation of Dr. Dwayne Sands. Sands had allowed 6 American permanent residents into the Bahamas, along with a donation of COVID-19 test swabs, while the country's borders were closed. The move caused a major backlash at the time, especially from those who had family abroad and couldn't return home due to the lockdowns. Art programs at schools that participated in this year's Art Lucaya Festival in Grand Bahama will share $10,000 raised by the festival for art supplies for up-and-coming Grand Bahamian student artists. Art Lucaya Chair Fatima Sarah Kaboub says the festival is hoping to foster the skills needed to make artistry an option as a career path for the talented Grand Bahamian students. She explained how they've ensured the funds will go directly to supplies for the art students while supporting the local economy.
Working with the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the teachers, we found where the teachers go to buy supplies. So they give us the list, and all of them are Grand Bahama Port Authority licensees, and that include Kelly's, the Hem Fabric, and Bellevue Gifts. So at the end, before the school term, each teacher will be given an account in all of the shops, and they decide how much in each shop, up to the amount that allocated per school, and they can buy the supply they need as they see fit. Obviously, it's their portfolio, and I'm looking forward to see what they're going to come up with next year.
All right, and this year, only participating schools, including Bishop Michael Eldon School, Lucaya International, 8 Mile Rock High, Sunland Baptist Academy, and Jack Hayward Senior High School, will share the money raised. Ben Ferguson Jr. is an educator at Jack Hayward, who says the funds provide access to materials needed for fine art projects, providing much needed exposure.
There are not a lot of opportunities here on Grand Bahama for young artists, but when we have something that can push them towards that common goal and being able to exhibit with other artists, not just as their peers, but professional artists in the CM space or nearby spaces is awesome. Because it's not just an exhibition, it's a festival. So they're given the opportunity to attend. They get to see different facets of the art world when not art is just being displayed, but how people connect, how they interact, and also to hear artist talks and journeys. So it's a full-rounded experience.
All right, what a wonderful effort. If you want to learn more about that story and all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs and, of course, Our News Bahamas on Facebook. That does it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall, up with the latest headlines. Italia?
Thanks so much, Ken. Well, coming up, Prime Minister Davis in the U.S. for a sciatica treatment, plus Grand Bahama's Hurricane Dorian Memorial is restored. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news live at 7:30, police investigating 4 murders in the capital that took place overnight. A former house clerk's son is one of the victims. We have details from police coming up. Also, power woes. Residents on Grand Bahama fed up with the Grand Bahama Power Company. Hear why they say the heat is becoming unbearable. Plus, the nation's leader traveling to the United States for medical treatment. We have the details straight ahead. And later, adhere to the existing policies. That response coming from the Nassau Airport Development Company following concerns from taxi drivers when our news live at 7:30 returns.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
Well, what you doing here?
I dig in the well to connect to the house of building for me and Mavis.
Why you just don't call water and sewage?
Call them for what?
To get your city water. You don't have to worry about your water cutting off when the power cut off. And your water's clean and safe, free from coliform bacteria.
Cauliflower what?
Call us at 302-5500 to make the switch from well water to city water for a more fresh, reliable water supply for you and your family.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model, adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we...
Welcome to our news. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis is in the United States undergoing treatment for sciatica, while Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the situation isn't severe. He admits it's causing the nation's leader a lot of pain. We'll get to that story in about 9 minutes, but first, the calm of the night was shattered by gunfire, leaving 4 men dead in 3 separate incidents. One of the men killed in the double shooting was son of former house clerk Maurice Tynes. The first of the deadly incidents occurred shortly before 10 last night near Pine Yard Road. Police press officer Chief Superintendent Chrisling Skipping says 2 men in their 40s arrived at a home on Penford Close in a white Nissan, only to be ambushed by gunmen in a dark-colored Japanese car.
2 males, one of whom was armed with a high-powered weapon, the other with a handgun, exited that vehicle and immediately opened fire on the victim, shooting him multiple times. In an attempt to evade, he ran and he collapsed in a nearby property.
The spree of violence culminated around 4:30 this morning when officers on patrol near Sumner Street and Soldier Road encountered a silver Daihatsu hijet van with a lone male driver in his early 30s. The vehicle had come to a stop after crashing into a pole. That victim died at the scene. As dawn broke, families grappled with the senseless loss of 4 lives and the unsettling reality of targeted violence in their midst. Also on the scene last night was Free National Movement Shadow Minister for National Security, Shannon Don Cartwright, a friend of the family. He made this passionate plea.
If we keep up this trend, there will be no size prison that will be able to accommodate the amount of criminals that we have in our society. But tonight, I just really want to emphasize just how heart-wrenching this is. Like I said, I know the family personally. As we say in Bahamian vernacular, I've eaten out of their pots, you know, spend time in their homes, grew up through this corner, and I did not come here tonight knowing the personal impact that this would have had on me today.
While a 23-year-old man who torched a Volkswagen Jetta that he was tired of seeing has been jailed for 7 years. Trey Bastian pleaded guilty to a charge of use of an explosive matter with intent to cause damage when he appeared before Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson. The charge stems from a fire at Virginia Street on January 18, 2024 that destroyed a car that belonged to David Thompson. Bastian was previously sentenced to 24 months in prison for causing a 2021 fire at Bethel Baptist Church. Well, earlier this week, we told you how persistent power issues had Eleuthera residents at their breaking point. Well, over in Grand Bahama, residents there are feeling the same frustration as major power issues continue to plague the Northern Island. Residents there have been experiencing frequent power outages for hours at a time over the past week, and they're voicing their concerns as Grand Bahama Power Company officials say the matter will soon be resolved.
Please don't cut me off tonight.
And that's the plea coming from Grand Bahama residents as the Grand Bahama Power Company continues to have challenges with their largest generating unit. Those issues have led to frequent power outages on the island for weeks. But these Grand Bahama residents say the situation is becoming an inconvenience, especially during the summer months where temperatures have gone above the 90-degree mark. Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis, who lives in the Seahorse Village community, calls the situation torture and recounts his experience when he was trying to put his young daughter to bed on Wednesday night.
Having eczema, the heat, it's not good at all, so she started to sweat, but fortunately was able to use a little small portable fan that I had. With the amount of money that we're paying for power, the service, in my view, is not commensurate.
Central Grand Bahama resident Anika Johnson shares the grim situation she's often met with at home.
If I come home for lunch or even in the evening, just getting inside the house after a long, hot day, there's no power.
Earl Neely, also known as Steely, a well-known Grand Bahama DJ, says he's been affected by the outages this entire week.
Tuesday in the studio, last night at karaoke. So yeah, I've been feeling the brunt of it.
While this Grand Bahamian student Chase Thompson says the power outages are impacting the quality of his summer break.
It's like every day, every couple of hours, power just keeps going off. And every time I'm just trying to enjoy my summer break and I just play a game, the power just go off.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority, the regulator of GBPC, responding to the electricity concerns in a statement Thursday afternoon. GBPA officials say they have been assured by GBPC the current issues will be resolved by the beginning of next week at the latest. GBPC's Chief Operating Officer Nikita Mullings confirms a team of experts arrived on the island this week to assist with rectifying the issues and apologize to customers for the inconvenience caused.
The team has been challenged with returning that unit to service due to unforeseen equipment failure. When we lose our dispatch units because of mechanical failure, we begin to experience a generation shortfall versus the load that our customers are using, which causes some areas to experience a frequent outage.
Now, we will continue to follow that story over in Grand Bahama. Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis is in the United States undergoing treatment for sciatica, while Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the situation isn't severe. He admits it's causing the Prime Minister a lot of pain and the situation has to be addressed. Our Berthing McDermott has the details.
It was this statement from the office of the Prime Minister shortly before 1 p.m. this afternoon that confirmed Prime Minister Philip Davis is seeking treatment for sciatica in the United States. It's a condition that can cause severe pain, weakness, numbness, or tingling in the leg. But as Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville tells us, Davis has been suffering from the condition for months.
We can see that the Prime Minister sometimes is in some pain. And we've been looking at it, and so he's going to do further studies. I'm sure it'll be inclusive of an MRI to see exactly where the compression on the nerve fiber is.
Research tells us sciatica occurs when there is pressure on or damage to the...
All right, we apologize for that technical difficulty. We'll have the full report in a later newscast. Well, the Nassau Airport Development Company releasing a statement as videos of disgruntled taxi drivers surfaced yesterday. The statement saying NAD is aware of complaints being raised by transportation operators regarding the commercial lane at the Lynden Pinling International Airport and committing to continued work work with the Road Traffic Department, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Airport Traffic Division, and Airport Authority to ensure a coordinated and effective response to managing the commercial lane at LPIA. As for what NAD had to say to the transportation operators, they encouraged them to adhere to existing policies, adding they are, quote, reminded to be respectful of others even as policy changes are being sought, end quote. Well, extremely hot weather to start off the weekend. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Italian. Happy TGIF, everybody. A very, very, very warm day around the islands. Temperatures getting up into the low to mid 90s, and we had some triple-digit indices into the upper teens, like about 110, 112, and we continue to see those temperatures throughout the weekend. We do have a high-pressure ridge in charge, and that's going to continue to keep us rather warm. 86 degrees is our current temperature. Southeast winds, a little bit of a breeze, 40 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature, it is a scorching 97. What it feels like on the outside. Satellite radar composite. We have some patchy clouds across the area. We have an introduction of some more moisture across our area. That's courtesy of a southeasterly flow, and that's going to continue to pump some of that moisture across the area. We do have a tropical wave that's approaching from the southeast. That will also add to some showers on the weekend, so we're looking for a little bit of a cool down, but some Saharan dust is going to accompany that tropical wave. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your weekend forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, a monument dedicated to Hurricane Dorian victims on Grand Bahama restored following a car accident, plus partying for a cause. The countdown is on to Hands for Hunger, one of the biggest foodie events on the island, and later Drive to Arrive Alive, a campaign in Grand Bahama with the Royal Bahamas Police Force Northern Division. We'll tell you all about the initiative when our news returns.
No travel, no problem. Summer is here. Whether you're fighting to stay cool or heating up the fun, Our News Weekend is your guide to the ultimate staycation. We're talking all of the hidden gems right in our backyard, from the hottest bars and lounges to the coolest excursions and events in town. So stay cool, stay local, and stay tuned. Tune in every Saturday to make sure your summer staycation is an unforgettable sensation. Only on Our News Weekend.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell?
Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 the Gospel.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
Just before the break, we started to tell you about the treatment Prime Minister Philip Davis is undergoing in the United States for sciatica. We bring you that report now from our Berthie McDermott.
It was this statement from the office of the Prime Minister shortly before 1 p.m. this afternoon that confirmed Prime Minister Philip Davis is seeking treatment for sciatica in the United States. It's a condition that can cause severe pain, weakness, numbness, or tingling in the leg. But as Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville tells us, Davis has been suffering from the condition for months.
We can see that the Prime Minister sometimes is in some pain. And we've been looking at it, and so he's going to do further studies. I'm sure it'll be inclusive of an MRI to see exactly where the compression on the nerve fiber is.
Research tells us sciatica occurs when there is pressure on or damage to the sciatic nerve. It starts in the lower back and can sometimes run down the back of each leg. There are some common causes of sciatica, among them a flipped or herniated disc, spinal stenosis, pelvic injury or fracture, and tumors. Pain from sciatica can also vary. It can feel like a mild tingling, dull ache, or burning sensation, or in some cases be severe enough to make a person unable to move.
Usually he's fine with sitting. Is when he stands up, he does have excruciating, radiating pain, particularly running down one of his legs. I think it's the right leg.
But the Health and Wellness Minister assures the Prime Minister is doing well and is in good spirits. With Parliament now on a summer recess, Dr. Darville reasons this is the best time to seek treatment. We asked him what treatment could look like for Davis and if he could need a surgical procedure.
Between me and you, if we look at sciatica, there's a conservative treatment. There could be nerve blocks. There can be surgical intervention. I don't want to comment on that to preempt what's possibly going to happen. It is not a severe situation. It's very uncomfortable, and I think it needs to be addressed.
Now, with the CARICOM heads of government meeting in the next few days, the acting press secretary says if the Prime Minister is unable to attend, then the Minister of Foreign Affairs will go in his place. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that detailed report, Berthany. Well, a monument erected in honor of the lives lost during Hurricane Dorian in Grand Bahama that was damaged in May of this year has been restored by the Grand Bahama Port Authority. GBPA officials confirms a vehicle crashed into the roundabout, which damaged the foundation of the cross at the Dorian Memorial Site located on the eastern end of the island directly before the Sir Jack Haywood Bridge. Deputy Director and City Manager of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Troy McIntosh, and Maintenance Manager for the Lakaya Service Company, Corey Cartwright, share what went into the restoration project.
We have a team, internal team, safety, security and facility, that came out and did the repairs, basically moved the foundation, add reinforcement of steel, and then re-pour the area to provide some structural integrity to the damaged structure.
The build is definitely stronger. It's a higher PSI than what it was before. It's also wider in dimension and in length.
GBPA Chairman Sarah St. George explains the importance of repairing the monument.
We know it's a landmark, and we are approaching the 5th anniversary of Hurricane Dorian, and of course we go into a new storm season. So for us it was a matter of priority to make sure that the base was worked on and to get everything back in place before the summer really got underway and before the August holidays.
Coming up in sports, lots of youth baseball. Buddy Hield finally gets to the Bay Area, and of course, the 10YS Plays of the Week.
Thanks, Ronaldo. And later, partying for a cause. The countdown is on to Hands for Hunger, one of the biggest foodie events on the island. We have the details when our news returns.
No travel, no problem. Summer is here, whether you're fighting to stay cool or heating up the fun. Our News Weekend is your guide to the ultimate staycation. We're talking all of the hidden gems right in our backyard, from the hottest bars and lounges to the coolest excursions and events in town. So stay cool, stay local, and stay tuned. Tune in every Saturday to make sure your summer staycation is an unforgettable sensation. Only on Our News Weekend.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell? Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's Sean Marknut. Let's do show. The Bahamas Baseball Association is continuing its youth development by fielding another team to compete against the top teams in the region. The under-12 team is headed to the Caribbean Cup July 21st to 28th in the Dominican Republic. Jeron Sands will serve as the team's head coach. The BBA returned to international play at the youth level earlier this year when the 15U team participated in the World Cup qualifier.
Our vision is never to see a Bahamian ball player have to dress and play for Great Britain. But that means that we have a lot of work to do. One, we're ranked low. World Baseball would not recommend the country to put a team in the World Baseball Classic because of our ranking. So what that means, we have to go out and compete in all of the age bracket to continue to raise the country's ranking.
The BBA will also host the 15U Caribbean Cup at the Andre Rogers Stadium August 7 to 11 and the Open Caribbean Cup August 19th to 26.
New York Mets first base coach Anton Richardson and LDK Performance has teamed up with the Batter's Box for a unique experience. Hosted at the Andre Rogers National Stadium, the camp features dozens of aspiring players as young as 5 and up to 18 years old. LDK's Director of Baseball and Softball Development, Shante Curtis, said one of the camp's main focus would be targeting athleticism.
So one of the main things that we are kind of emphasizing at this camp is athleticism. And that's something that you probably don't hear a lot at baseball camps or in the baseball space in general. We think that the best baseball players are the most athletic.
Lyndon Wallace of the Batter's Box said the collaboration is aimed at raising the standard of development in the country.
Raising the standard of development in this country is something that both of us hold near and dear. So I think that this camp is definitely a representation of that. And it's just a little taste of what we will have to offer and more things to come in the future.
The camp runs Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to noon.
Buddy Hield is officially a Golden State Warrior and discussed his transition to the Bay Area.
There's no pressure, I feel like. I just come and do my job. You know, what Clay has done for this organization has been tremendous. I love Clay a lot. I watched him over the years, and he's special. And the way he can get hot and the way he can just change the game and be a two-way player and that he is, and a champion that he is, you know. So I don't look at it as pressure, but I think it's fun just being in that role.
We had way too much drama this week, and none of it has been in competition. Let's get to the sports. Let's get to the top plays of the week. At 5, it's been this kind of July for BJ Murray. Blasts his 10th homer of the year. He's hitting .351 this month. At number 4, Donald Thomas is an absolute showman. Everything from the 21 Savage in the background to the Clarence. At number 3, Chavez Young rips a 2-out, 2 RBI double down the line in his debut with the Monarchs. At number 2, we head to the piece on the streets. No easy layups at the Hope Center. And at number 1, Wendell Miller nearing his PR headed into Paris, 45.67 to get the dub in Italy. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. You know what wasn't a top play? Arguing.
Hopefully this is a drama-free weekend.
Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, Drive to Arrive Alive, a campaign in Grand Bahama with the Royal Bahamas Police Force Northern Division. We'll tell you all about the initiative when our news continues. And Greg is back with your extended weather when our news returns. Stay with us.
No travel, no problem. Summer is here, whether you're fighting to stay cool or heating up the fun. Our News Weekend is your guide to the ultimate staycation. We're talking all of the hidden gems right in our backyard, from the hottest bars and lounges to the coolest excursions and events in town. So stay cool, stay local, and stay tuned. Tune in every Saturday to make sure your summer staycation is an unforgettable sensation. Only on Our News Weekend.
The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell? Is this what the hotel is really worth?
The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures.
So stay tuned for some really hot new episodes.
This is 242 the Gospel.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be.
This is our news. Thanks for sticking with us. In our extended forecast, we look at what's happening across the area. Ridge of high pressure is in charge, and that's continuing to provide us with some very, very warm temperatures. Saw some triple-digit indices. We still have that advisory in place, that heat advisory in place for the Bahamas. Likely to be relaxed a little bit for the weekend as we have a vigorous tropical wave that's moving across Hispaniola as well as Puerto Rico area. That will introduce some showers and some isolated thunderstorms across the area. That should save some degree of the temperature. But Saharan dust will be accompanying that tropical wave, so once that wave gets out of here, we expect our temperatures to rebound back into the 90s with triple-digit indices affecting us by next week. Into the tropics, quiet across the tropical belt. The Atlantic, Eastern Atlantic, quiet. We have a couple of tropical waves out there, not showing any organization at this time. Of course, into the Caribbean Sea, we have that tropical wave moving across Hispaniola and Puerto Rico with some showers and thunderstorms flaring up. And then into the Gulf of Mexico, all's quiet there as well. Some showers and isolated thunderstorms affecting the Gulf Coast states. Forecast, future forecast showing the moisture associated with a tropical wave moving across Hispaniola as well as the southeast Bahamas by tomorrow. So look for some isolated showers and thunderstorms, and then through Sunday that wave will continue to move towards the west. Showers and thunderstorms occurring across our area by Sunday, so we're looking at some wet weather during that time frame. Boating forecast, a little choppy on the waters tonight to tomorrow for all areas, but the northwest Bahamas, caution flag in place. Southeasterly winds at 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet, but up to 6 feet offshore and some easterly swells. High tide is at 7:13 at night. Your low tide takes place at 1:45 in the morning. For the central and southeastern islands, caution flag, actually an advisory post for you guys down there. East to southeast winds, and they will be higher, 15 to 25 knots. Sea is a very rough 4 to 6 feet near shore, but they will be building up to 8 feet offshore in some easterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, with the wave getting into our area for the weekend, we're looking at off and on showers Saturday and Sunday. We have some residual showers hanging out for Monday, but we clear up by Tuesday. We're looking for those temperatures to rebound back into the 90s with triple-digit indices likely to be affecting us during that time frame. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night and have a great weekend, everybody.
Get ready for the most talked about foodie event on the island, which returns in September. Paradise Plate's Hands for Hunger's signature fundraising initiative is returning to the Atlantis Ballroom and promises to be an unforgettable night on September 21st. The organization's signature fundraiser has become one of the island's most anticipated charity events of the year, drawing foodies and supporters of good causes alike. Hands for Hunger's executive director Keisha Ellis explains.
Last year was the best year yet, and this year is going to be even better. So supporting Paradise Plates is a really great way for you to support our work and also have a good time. Well, people should expect all of the great things that they come to expect from Paradise Plates. Right now, we are well into the planning stage. We already have a number of great restaurants and sponsors signed up. We're really excited. We're hoping to bring some new entertainment this year, new surprises, so people will not be disappointed.
Well, the night will feature more than 40 booths comprised of talented chefs and beverage purveyors who will showcase some of their most delicious treasures and signature creations to the delight of thousands that will fill the ballroom. With a target goal of $300,000, proceeds will go towards Hands for Hunger's mission to eliminate unnecessary hunger and food waste in the Bahamas.
Tickets went on sale a few weeks ago and they're already rolling. Please, please, do not wait until the last minute. Last year we sold out about 2 weeks before the event. We might sell out even sooner, so please don't wait. Tickets can be purchased through our website, handsforhunger.org. Guest experience this year is $250 and early access is $350.
All right, sounds like it's going to be a great event. Well, the Royal Bahamas Police Force reinforcing the message that they're not just here to enforce law, but to also partner with the community. Most recently, those in Grand Bahama may have seen a heavy police presence at the well-known 8 Mile Rock corner. Officers were there to recognize good drivers through its second annual Drive to Arrive Alive Safety Initiative campaign. Alive partnering with police for the mega initiative. Assistant Superintendent of Police and acting officer in charge of the 8 Mile Rock Division, Cordell Capron, explains the process.
This morning, we stopped various drivers, inspected their vehicles to ensure that they were registered, inspected, and properly insured, and their driver's license was up to date. And as a reward, they were gifted with a basket, a fruit basket, vouchers, and phone items from Alive. This is simply to say to the public, thank you for supporting your local police and also the corporate company Alive. We want you to understand that road safety is paramount to us in this area, and we have had too much casualties for the year already.
And congrats to Constance Edwards, one of the recipients of that award. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.